Hello class, this is Thomas Redford, and for this discussion I have chosen to speak on the Baptists and their earliest beginnings and how they became one of the most popular denominations in the United States after the Great Awakening. Baptists, who share many convictions with the Puritans, appeared in Massachusetts shortly after the first migrations and soon arrived elsewhere in the colonies. In light of their subsequent importance in America, it is necessary to sketch the background of these lively and ardent Protestants. Mark Noll, in the History of Christianity in the United States and Canada, states that the earliest Baptists arose among English separatists who, influenced by Puritan criticism of the religious establishment, considered it necessary to pull out of the Church of England entirely in order to preserve true Christian life. The lot of separatists in England was difficult. Many were put in prison or forced to seek exile abroad. One of the groups that sought refuge in exile went to Holland under the leadership of John Smith, 1565 to 1612. Here, these dissenters came into contact with Dutch Mennonites, Anabaptists, or rebaptizers, who practiced the baptism of adults on the basis of their confessions of faith. Under this influence, Smith too came to believe that adult believer baptism was the norm established in the New Testament. So in 1609, John Smith baptized himself and several others who together formed the first English Baptist church. In 1612, the first Baptist church on English soil was located near London. The first Baptist congregation in America was formed in 1639 with the help of Roger Williams, 1603 to 1683, in Rhode Island. There were two groups of Baptists that were referred to as General Baptists and Particular Baptists. In the late 1630s, the Particular Baptists began to immerse candidates for baptism. Baptists had adopted the practice of pouring, but immersion rapidly became the trademark of all Baptists. One of the leading Baptists in colonial New England was John Clark, who arrived in Rhode Island in 1639 to found the town of Newport. Although Rhode Island continued to be a safe center for colonial Baptists, other areas of New England continued to persecute Baptists. In the same manner that Anglicans had persecuted Puritans, the Puritans persecuted the Baptists. Mark Noll states that persecution by the Puritans was not just a figment of Baptist imagination. An example, a Boston court had a member of the Baptist congregation imprisoned, convicted him of promoting Anabaptism, and had him whipped in public. Partially because of such opposition and partially because of more general conditions in the colonies, the Baptist growth was extremely slow. General Baptists from England did establish a few congregations in the South, and Rhode Island remained a haven for General Baptists in New England. But until the Great Awakening in the 1740s, Baptists achieved only a slight presence in the New World. The Great Awakening of the 18th century had a most unusual effect on the Baptist movement in America. It virtually destroyed older Baptist churches, especially in New England. Newer Baptist churches associated with the Philadelphia Association of Baptists generally accommodated but did not lead in the Great Awakening. From the radical fringe of the Awakening's evangelicals, however, a new Baptist faction emerged. Like many radical evangelicals, these separate Baptists experienced harsh persecution at the hands of colonial governments such as Virginia. But the Baptists surging out of the Great Awakening would not back down. They took aim at America's established churches and eventually captured the hearts of millions of Americans. Thank you.